Thank you once again for making Locked On Cougars your first listen of the day. Hope you all are doing fantastic out there, wherever you might be. Now, we are running up here on the end of May, and the month of June is our, quote, off season as Locked On podcast hosts on the college side of things. So essentially over the next month and change, leading up essentially to Big 12 Media Days, and it's early July, but the next month and change is our off season. We are only required during that period to do 3 shows a week. I will say this. It is my full intention to go through the month of June and do 5 shows a week. But if I feel like that we're running low on material and I'm not feeling like I have enough to not make you guys want to gouge your eyes out or put forks in your ears because of what I'm bloviating on about, I may skip a day or here or there. Just understand that it's kind of a heads up over the next month. But once again, it is my full intention, so long as I've got material sufficient for it. And so far, the offseason is delivered in spades. As sad it is, the St. Jake Retzlaff situation, it's fed this podcast headline after headline, it feels like, for a week and a half now. So we'll do our best to keep you updated on Cougars every single day, but understand that there's a day here or there that we're not there with an updated podcast. Understand that sometimes you just got to take a day. All right, let's talk BYU football, though. The Vampire Cougs moniker has been out there for quite some time. It goes back to BYU in their independent era when it seemed like every home game for a long stretch there was played late night, whether it was 8, 8:15, 8:30 p.m. BYU was playing under the lights at LaVell Edwards Stadium. Well, it appears as members of the Big 12 going into year 3, that is going to continue to be the case if the early indications are to be believed. Now, if you didn't see it yesterday, BYU had 4 of their games have kickoff and TV designations announced. Those games are the season opener against Portland State, the second game of the season the following week against Stanford, their first Big 12 road game at Colorado, and then their Friday night game the week of General Conference for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints on October 30 against West Virginia. Those were the games that are announced for BYU. And 3 of the 4 are kicking off at 8:15 or 8:30 p.m., and all 3 of them are on ESPN. Those are Stanford, Colorado, and West Virginia. The only game that is got an earlier kickoff, and it is still an evening kickoff, is the game 92 days away from today, because we are just 92 days away from kickoff against Portland State. That'll be a 6 p.m. kickoff, and it'll be streaming exclusively on ESPN+. Get ready for late nights at the Ed, as my good friend Patrick Kinahan likes to call it. LaVell Edwards Stadium is an incredible bastion for BYU in terms of a home field advantage, and especially those late night contests. Gregor Bell pointed it out on social media yesterday that BYU's got an incredibly gaudy record when it comes to playing late night games. I'm pulling it up right now. I closed out of it on accident, and I'm going to get it pulled back up here. But yeah, 28-4 in their last 32 night games, including a 15-3 mark in night games at LES, speaking of LaVell Edwards Stadium. BYU is nigh to impossible to beat under the lights at LES in Provo, Utah. And it's something I feel like, just based on what we're seeing, it's going to be a part of life for BYU as a member of the Big 12. ESPN had a exclusive rights deal with BYU when they were an independent football program, and realized that BYU delivered eyeballs and TV numbers whenever you put them on TV. 10 a.m., 1:30, 5 o'clock, 9 p.m. It didn't matter when ESPN put BYU on TV. Cougar fans showed up in droves, whether it was in person or tuned in and watched. And that's what I believe that the Big 12 has realized in BYU's relative infancy as members of this conference, is that BYU delivers TV numbers, and particularly at home, that late night window has become pretty lucrative for these media rights deals when it comes to ESPN and Fox. And BYU appears to be one of those darlings that is going to, more often than not, apparently, play late night football games. Is it ideal for fans? No. Is it ideal for media members like myself, who may stay up until 3 or 4 a.m. Sunday morning, getting all my post-game duties, postcasts for this podcast, everything that I've got to do for my job? Is it ideal? No, it's not. But if BYU keeps winning, so be it. And I think that's the trade-off. Now, there have been some of you out there who have said that you actually like the late night kickoffs because it allows you to go and watch your kids play in whatever sport they're playing during the fall. You can get some of your honey-do list, maybe have dinner with your family, and then cruise on down to LaVell Edwards Stadium or tune in and watch the Cougars late night, and then you're off and rolling doing the rest of what you got to do. That it works out in that circumstance in some ways. I also think those of you out on the East Coast, my good friends Tyler Bergen, I think Dirk out there, you guys are in the Eastern time zone. If it's an 8:15 kickoff in Provo, guess what it's for you guys? It's 10:15. And guess what? They're body clock games. I mentioned West Virginia. They're coming to BYU on a Friday night, October 3rd. And that body clock game, it's an 8:30 kickoff on ESPN. That's 10:30 on the body clocks of the West Virginia Mountaineers. Is anybody feeling bad for them? I'm not, because they signed up for this to play in a conference that literally stretches coast to coast. And BYU also has had issues when they go to the East Coast and playing at 10 a.m. on their body clocks. There's no perfect solution for this. Let's be very blunt. But I also can appreciate the fact that BYU is a proven entity when it comes to drawing eyeballs, TV numbers, and generating money for media rights partners. That's a good thing. The only crappy part is, yet again, it's late night. Those games kick off at 8:15 and they finish up right about midnight. And if you live anywhere outside of the direct vicinity of Provo, you're driving 20, 30, 40 minute, 2 hours. I know some people come from Idaho. That's what, 3.5 hour drive at minimum. Cougar fans, I got to give you mad props. You guys show up in droves no matter when BYU plays, where they play, and it's awesome. Would it be ideal if BYU could have some more games that are like a 6 o'clock or a 5 o'clock kickoff every so often? Sure. And that'd be in terms of home games in Provo. But it appears that BYU's lot in life is to play late night football. And if the record continues to hold, where they're, as Greg says, 28-4 in their last 32 night games, and then they're 15-3 at home in those set in the same set, that's awesome. That means BYU's winning a lot, and they have a distinct home field advantage. David Almadova and his staff at BYU have done an incredible job with the in-game entertainment portion. They make it so those TV timeouts that seem to drag on forever, especially when it's 11:30 at night, they still entertain you, whether it's the fourth quarter break right between the third and fourth quarter with the turbulence thing. They have the fire knife dancers out there. They got Cosmo doing incredible stunt or feats after feat. The nice part is BYU makes it an event worth attending because there's the game within the game. That is the entertainment portion when it comes to the media timeouts. And it also doesn't hurt when you have a winning football program. That's the other thing that BYU's got to weigh here is they got to win. If you don't win, people aren't as inclined to watch it because, simply put, fans, it's short for fanatic. You want to watch your team win. I can wholeheartedly tell you that podcast numbers, when BYU wins, hey, life's good. When they lose, ooh, it's going to take a hit. But that's from my perspective. And I don't think I'm saying anything out of line there because, simply put, it's how you respond to things. You want your team to win. And BYU is pretty darn good late night in terms of that. And I think ESPN likes the fact that BYU delivers TV numbers in that late window, that fourth window of the 4 windows they talk about when it comes to college football in this day and age. So it appears, BYU, if you're going to be playing it in Provo, get ready for late night football under the lights at LaVell Edwards Stadium. All right, coming up next, we're going to talk a little bit about what you want to talk about. Obviously, we throw it out to our Locked On Cougars Insider Group members every single week. Fill up that mailbag, and we address as many of the questions as we have in the time remaining on our Friday editions of the podcast. And we will get to that next as we roll on right here on the Locked On Podcast Network.